Checking, checking. 1, 2, checking. 3, 4, checking. 5, 6. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and at the very least, a bit of entertainment. Are you in or out? The path of Lilith explained. All right. Back to another episode. Today's goal, like our past couple weeks have been, to slowly but surely change our, we'll call it our grace, our electromagnetic fields, our resonating frequencies to get a little on point with manifesting money, material wealth, finances. Oh my goodness, here comes my son. He's just mobbing. It's freezing out here, and he's just in his underwear. What are you doing, baby love? Oh, I can't play StarCraft right now. Love Dad is using him. Sorry, baby. I love you, though. Oh. Well, welcome, everyone. We're going to, what is it? It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I wanted to get this out of the way. We've got a lot of things to do. I don't know what you guys have been up to on your adventures, on your journeys, but we've been all over the place, man. We have been all over the place. We've been selling frankincense trees, planting frankincense trees. We've been, I have a couple of white sage, black sage plants going up so we can have our medicinal tinctures for next season. It's been quite the journey. I've been splitting wood for the past day just in case things hit the fan and we need our own heat because things are getting weird out there. How do you guys feel about what's going on in the world? I know it's up and down as far as how far in our face it is, but what's going on behind the scenes, like out in the Middle East, is quite noteworthy, and we should definitely all be, if not to humor ourselves, take a step or two in the direction of self-sufficiency, because I'm telling you, that's look, if I may, part of me doesn't like making these videos on finance and spirituality because it seems a part of me, it's my own thing I need to get over, but it feels cheap, or like I'm trying too hard, or like I'm being disingenuous to the cause. And for the longest time I haven't been able to tell whether or not that's actually true or not. I'm sure in a sense it's true, but here's my intention behind it. I scroll through YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, just like the rest of you. And I read the texts and I read, the titles of the videos and how heady it gets and how spiritually it gets and how are you tapped in with this spirit, or are you tapped in with this archangel, or like magic angel numbers, and it's all dope. It's all extraordinarily fascinating, but there's not much you can do with it. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, can we start making spiritual videos and esoteric videos that actually help us gain a very strong foothold over our material realm, because having more material affluence does increase the quality of one's life and does increase the spiritualness of one's life. And it's how can it not? How can it not? Think of great inventors like Tesla. Imagine, or Albert Einstein, when he said, the moment the world, I'm paraphrasing, Albert Einstein says, the moment the world puts as much energy into the spiritual, into the internal world, as it does the external, we will make, more advancement in a decade than we've made in 100 years, or something like that. And then obviously Tesla talks about 369, and if you want to figure out the secrets of the universe, you have to think in terms of frequency and vibration. That's what Tesla said. So basically what they're saying, basically what they did is the more money and resources you can put into the material realm, the more advances we're going to make, and we'll make advancements in leaps and bounds, comparatively speaking. So I really, it breaks my heart that the spiritual community somehow takes it upon themselves to hammer in that the spiritual is negative, that the spiritual is, or that the material is negative, and it's all about the spirit, and we all have to just rise above the material plane and rise above polarity, which you can't do. Leave the third dimension, and they're always lived. I feel like, and myself included, I always lived in this fantasy realm of one day in the future when we all ascend and transcend this reality. It's all gonna, then we're gonna reach the pinnacle of where we want to be, and that just, call me crazy, but that feels like the exact pitfall that the average person makes. Like, oh, I'll be happy one day when this happens, or I'll be happy one day, and instead of just like being here now and really sending roots into our current reality to make it as wonderful and as it can. And why not throw our spiritual knowledge into it? Why not throw money and resources into it, our emotions into it? So that's why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm and I feel like Napoleon Hill is a great place to start, because if you've been following the channel, then you know damn well how spiritual this dude gets. If you listen to my audiobook on his interview with the devil, you know damn well how powerful the spirit realm is when influencing the material, and how powerful the material is when influencing the spiritual. Of course, all for the better. So that's why I've been making these videos. I've been kind of slying away from the Colburn, because it's just like Keith Garcia, I need to, and I have been, put myself in a place where I can take care of my family, where I can be the one having the overflow of spirit, the overflow of psyche, the overflow of money and affluence, so that I can sort of focus on myself and my household, and that spills over into my yard. Now that spills over into my neighbors. Now that spills over into my community, right? I want to be the fountain from which all grace and goodness flow. I don't want to have to seek elsewhere for it. I want us all to be our own fountains of overflowing wealth, health, abundance in all aspects, so that we can do all the magical things that we want to do, and really reorient ourselves to this idea that the material is bad. The material and the spirit are the same goddamn thing, you guys. They're two sides of the same coin. They are. How can we talk about? How can we talk about as above, so below, and the law of correspondence, saying that the heavens mirror the earth and the earth mirrors the heavens? How can we have that conversation? But then when it comes to the material and spirit, we all of a sudden we love to treat them as a polarity, as one on this side and one on the other side. It's like we use the law of polarity when it suits us, and then we disregard it when it doesn't suit us. Not understanding that you can't get rid of polarity. You can change the vibrational representation of the law so that it represents in a more represents itself in a more likable state, but you can't get rid of it. You know, you can make your lows a little higher and your highs a little higher, so that you shift up the scale. But you're not going to get rid of lows, and you're never going to get rid of highs. You know what I mean? You're always going to have polarity. We shift its representation in the material world, but that's it. So that's why we're here. That's why I want to go over Napoleon Hill, so that we can get our minds, so that we can have a better foothold in this reality. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not trying to wait until the next dimension before I make things right. At least for myself and my family. Right? I'm not trying to change the world. I'm trying to change my own personal world. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to... as Yoda says, there is no try. Either do or do not. I am making myself better. I am gaining more material and spiritual affluence. I've been doing a great job at it, and I continue to do even better. It will never be perfect, but the fact that we can set our sights on perfection and at least head in that direction is all we can ask for. And it starts with myself. It starts with you. You got the journey that you guys are on, the adventure that you guys are on. We're all in this together, and this channel has always been like the tavern that we all come to at night. We're all out there and we're all at the storm. We're out there in the darkness. We're fighting beasts. You're out there trudging through the mud, learning skills, learning how to lucid dream, to tap into the psyche, overcoming dark night of the soul, changing your hindrances into superpowers. You're killing it. You are killing it. I see you guys out there. I feel you guys killing it. I read the comments, I read the responses, and this is lifting people up, and it's giving them so much power and so much confidence in what they do, and I love it. And then we come here on the channel, we come here in the lives, and we share it, and it's like we're having beer over the fire and telling each other our stories of our success before we head back out into the world to continue our journeys, and I love it. So that's where I'm at. So thank you guys for being here with me on this journey of reorienting ourselves so that we can take back this. We are in the Garden of Eden. Despite what a lot of people say, oh, this is negative, oh, this is, and it's funny because we were reading from the Colburn Bible that doesn't really talk about money necessarily in this aspect, but one thing that it said that it stood out to me that I loved about it so much, that stands out from all the other religious texts, is it says how, I'm paraphrasing again, it talks about how man looks to the heavens to say, why, God? Why have you let such things take place? Don't you love us? How could you let this be? And then in the Colburn Bible, the response is, if evil has run amok on the world, it's man's fault, not God's. Man has been given the tools, the knowledge, the ability to learn and overcome obstacle, the ability to focus on something, to cut out all distractions and make desires become man. Man has been given everything it needs to make this Eden or make this hell. And we can't just look to the heavens and be like, why have you let this happen? It is because man has not stood up to make it better. But I'm trying to make it even more simple than that. I'm not saying everyone needs to take up arms and hit the battlefield. Everyone just needs to hit the battlefield of their own internal psyche. Hit the battlefield of their own internal darknesses and struggles and meet them head on. Be courage not in war with your neighbor, but in courage with the war that's within yourself. Because we are all fighting wars within ourselves. Wars from habits that we've picked up as a child, getting into sort of the dark night of the soul, our shadow selves, between that aspect and our conscious selves. Reconciling the two so that we're not getting rid of those shadow aspects. We are integrating them so that we are now powerful beyond measure, because all those are our skills that have allowed us to thrive, or at least survive. Skills that have allowed us to survive. But now that we are conscious adults, we can take those skills that allowed us to survive and change them into skills that will now allow us to thrive. And we do that by surrendering and acknowledging to the things that we don't like about ourselves, and then realizing they were there to save and to comfort us at one point. And now that is a part of our psyche, and we will go on to use those skills for bigger and greater things. If you guys are into Dragon Ball Z, I talked about this in the last video. Dragon Ball Z is an anime, and the characters build up their power levels and they go fight bad guys. Well, there's something called a fusion dance, where two people, they do this dance and they touch fingertips and they merge into one being. And that's sort of what it's like. You touch fingertips with the dark side. You integrate, you become one with it, and as a result, you are more powerful. You are now consciously guiding the unconscious, and the power behind that is the subconscious, is the energy force, and the conscious mind is the direction of that energy. The masculine directs the feminine. The feminine is where the power comes from. All the masculine does is say, okay, I'm going to contain this power and direct it over there. And that's what it takes. That's what everyone wants, to make the world a better place, but they don't want to clean their own bedroom, for example. If I may take everything I just said, that whole 5-minute spiel, and put it into one paragraph, one thesis statement, it's this. Everyone wants to save and change the world, but no one wants to clean their own bedroom. And if you understand that, then you will understand the plight of humanity. You'll understand why humans look to the heavens and go, God, why have you forsaken me? In your arms forsaken me. In your thoughts forsaken me. In your eyes forsaken me. Trust. You guys remember that Chop Suey song? Anyway, everyone's like, woe is me, but they don't save the world, God, but they don't want to clean their rooms. So that's where we're at. I'm trying to get everyone, myself included, to clean our rooms so that we can have mansions, so that we can have massive home bases, so that when we want to build our pyramids on the ley lines, when we want to reforest the Sahara Desert, when we want to start a healing center and energy school for Reiki and all this stuff, we have the finances and the peace of mind to do so. So, thank you for allowing me to rant for, I don't even know how long I've been ranting for, a good 10 minutes. And I want to cover the last chapter of Napoleon Hill that we went over, which is chapter 4. And I know we've been getting a lot of followers lately from our audiobooks. I promise we will continue the Colburn. Christmas season's been a little crazy. I've been kind of under the weather. Getting my affairs in alignment over here on my end. We're moving and grooving. The Colburn's almost done. We have like 40 pages left of the Colburn. We've got 80 finished. We have about 40 pages left. So we should be done here pretty soon. But how have you guys been? Sorry, the chat room's been going. Divine Von Taylor, hello. Michael, hello. Los Brooklyn, hello. I'll read you guys' comments now. How are you guys? Didn't I bring water in here? Where'd my water go? Did I take it inside? Oh, sad day. I thought I brought my water out here. Divine Von Taylor says, I recognize it as a part of it. I'm probably not going to know what these comments are referring to because you might have referenced something I said 10 minutes ago. It sounds crazy, but I can't judge it either way. So can we think about Lilith in or out? Yes, I think we absolutely should. As above, so below, right? Yes, as above. That is a life-changing book. Yes, Colburn? Yes. Thoth said our purpose is to love God, and we do that by being God. So we create this world in honor of Him, and it lines up parallel with Spirit. Nice. Well said. I don't know what you mean by what do I think about Lilith in or out. Like, am I about Lilith? I don't know if you could be more specific with that question. I personally see that's sort of what that's sort of what I mean. My mind isn't on Lilith, it's on making money. My mind isn't on Lilith, it's about taking care of my family. My mind isn't on Lilith, it's about how can I overcome my personal self-sabotaging aspects so that I can finish things that I start, so that I can create a business that's going to flourish, so that I can create a safe place for my child and my woman. Like, that's where my head's at. That's what I mean by, like, I see these videos on archangels and Lilith and demons, and it's like, all right, that at one point in my life that was cool, but I'm in this section of my life where I'm at like a king level. And when I say king level, I don't mean like I'm the king. I mean like the actual responsibilities that come with being a king, like managing people, like empathy, so I understand those around me so that I can make their lives better. Affluence, so that I can pay for things, so that I can pay for structures and roads for the kingdom. You know what I mean? I'm at the king stage of my life, not the fun king stage where I just get to have grand meals, but the actual taking care of the nuts and bolts of my kingdom king stage. However, I would love to answer your question. I'm not downplaying the question itself. I'm just like, I'm thinking out loud, which is what really all of my YouTube channel is. It's just thinking out loud, sharing those thoughts with the squad, and having cool conversations as a result thereof. But I love all questions, so I don't mean that was a bad question or, oh, my water is right here the entire time, right under my microphone. And I would love to answer your question about Lilith if you could be more specific. I don't necessarily know. I don't understand your question, but I'm happy to answer it. You guys want to start going over Napoleon Hill, everyone. You guys want to start going over the last chapter? Talk about prayer in reverse, the mind and limitless power, how fear robs one of love and liberty. Will you master money? Will you master money? I almost reading that out loud, if I may allow some intuitive channeling to be done in this very moment. I'm just going to throw this out there. If you feel judged, you should, because I feel judged having the thought myself. Is I think spiritual folk have such a bad connotation of money because they suck at getting it and suck at keeping it and suck at staying on top of mundane things like finances. A spirit community wants lucid dreaming and drugs that show you aliens and Arcturian starseed councils, and that's all dope and relevant to a degree, but it's money and finance and how to do taxes and how to start a business and how to make a business outline. That's mundane and boring to our kind. So I think we belittle it because we don't know how to do it, sort of to give ourselves an excuse. Oh, that's just, I'm not good at that because I'm not in alignment, and that's just not a very spiritual thing to do. When I guarantee you, if they were to win the lottery and win $100,000, they'd be stoked on life. Any person who's ever told you money is the root of all evil, I guarantee you, if you would have bought them one of those fake lottery tickets that said they won $80,000, they would be elated. They would be so stoked. I would call every one of those people a liar. At least a part of me would. Let me know if you agree, or let me know if that at least gives you something to consider. You said it at the beginning of the show, Michael. Oh, Lilith. Yeah, I was referring to a title that I saw pop up. I think Q Reeves said something about Lilith being in or out. I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't watch the video. It just popped up in the feed. Shout out Q Reeves. But yeah. Anywho. I'm going to read something to you guys. And I'm going to give a little recap. I'm going to give a little recap of the last chapter in case you missed it. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Why you should be paying attention to this book is because it blends our favorite world, esotericism, spirituality. It blends that world with finances, making money. I understand. Never mind. I don't. I was gonna say I understand where a lot of Buddhism is coming from, where it talks about. I understand where it says you shouldn't want many things, but at the same time, it's like. I also read plenty of texts, plenty of spiritual esoteric texts that say the exact opposite. I know Buddhism and aestheticism sort of takes the cake when it comes to the spiritual world, but that doesn't mean I necessarily throw all my eggs in that basket. If I may be so bold to say. I know, what a time to be alive indeed. Oh my goodness. But it only gets better. I mean, 100 years from now, people are going to be saying, what a time to be, I think. If we make it 100 years from now. All right, let's keep cracking. Off, please. Hold on, let me go ahead and... Oh, my baby was playing the piano last night. That's funny. Okay. Well, fear is like prayer in reverse. All right. Let's pull up in my I'm about to kick off the next chapter, so bear with me. Delete tracks and regions, please. I just got to get my thing set up. All right, so this is chapter. We're going over chapter 4 real quick. Fear is like prayer in reverse. With positive prayer, we appeal to positive and helpful forces beyond ourselves. We with fear we appeal to negative forces. Your mind has limitless power to make a desire come true. To make a beneficial desire come true, your mind must work unhampered. Fear of criticism can cripple even a highly intelligent mind. Many successful men had to overcome obstacles of which we know, but also had to overcome criticism of the damaging wishes which, alas, come true. The most prevalent is a wish we generally would deny having, the wish for ill health, which is founded on the fear of ill health. A long list of ailments arise from a fearful mind which fights itself. Faith is the greatest health sustainer and the greatest healer. Only fear can rob you of love and liberty. True love is not possessive love. The capacity for love remains even when love is denied, and fear should not hamper the expression of your love as transferred to another person, for love cannot be demanded. It must be given. The years past youth can be the best years of your life. Nature always provides a compensation for anything she takes away. Giving up the intense physical drive of youth, we acquire wisdom, experience, which only age can bring. Modern devices help us keep in touch with the world. Reducing 1 year from your age on each birthday gives you perspective both on youth and age. The fact of death need not be denied, but nobody knows what lies beyond death's impenetrable curtain, so there is nothing to fear from a circumstance we cannot control. No matter how old you are, you can keep yourself so busy living that the fear of death finds no place in your mind. Now, the next chapter is called, Will You Master Money or Will It Master You? But before we keep going, I just want to say one real quick thing. It talks about manifestation comes from the mind that is not oppressed. And that is why this first chapter started out with, or this book started out with peace of mind. Peace of mind. We read with Christian Larson's Superpowers of the Subconscious. Christian Larson's a great writer from this era too. Talked about we possess latent qualities, latent untapped potential that's only activated when we focus on it. But we can only focus on these latent abilities when we're not stressed to hell. So all the fear, anxiety, depression, envy, jealousy, these create negative emotions in our mind. Those negative emotions create negative thoughts. Those negative thoughts create negative habits and actions. And those are all stresses. Stress dampens our latent abilities of, which is basically power of overcoming thing. You want more willpower, you're going to have to crush the negative ability, the negative aspects of yourself, because those lead to stress. They lead to worry, which leads to fatigue. If you're stressed all the time, you have stress hormones, cortisol. It makes you tired. It dampens your immune system, so you get sick more often. Causes different heart ailments like heart disease. Right? So if you don't have the physical energy to start and finish your business, because your mind is dominated with unhealthy thoughts, because your mind is at dis-ease. Isn't it funny how it's called disease? Dis-ease, you are not at ease. When you're sick, they say you're diseased, you're not at ease. So we have this whole book, a staple in psychology, a staple in finance and money making, a staple in business and any world. And the first chapter is on peace of mind. Isn't that interesting? So, and check this out. The next chapter, will you master money or will it master you? This is what it says. Anything that robs you of peace of mind robs you of life's greatest wealth. You may lose peace of mind by pursuing money too anxiously, or by trying to acquire more money than you can spend wisely. Money you earn through constructive work is the money most likely to benefit you. It is a mistake to deprive young people of the need to know life through work. Anyone can save, and the effort you make towards saving a percentage of your income gives you a true knowledge of the value of money. Saving also prepares you to handle many opportunities which otherwise might slip by. I've talked about this before on the channel, this idea that a good way to get more money is to open up channels that will allow that money to come through. For example, someone who spends most of their time playing video games, say you spend 2-3 hours a day playing video games and 45 minutes to an hour working on your business. What kind of channel for money is that going to open? Now I'm talking energetically, on a frequency level, on a woo-woo level, if you will. The channel for money and wealth and affluence is going to be dominated by video games. Now, if you're building a business to reforest the Sahara Desert, and you spend 6 hours a day working on that, what kind of channel are you opening for money to come through? The channel we build for energy to flow into our lives is going to determine what flows into our lives. That's basically what this is getting at. All right, so Los Brooklyn, thank you so much for the chat. Los Brooklyn, I really appreciate that. Blessings, Brooklyn. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the support, you guys. Thanks for keeping the channel alive. Gaming tokens. All right. In my explorations of the points of view of young people, I rarely find a great appreciation of money, most especially when a good sum of money is yet to be earned. This is proper enough. A lack of money makes the business of living so difficult. It is very rare. Oh, I cannot talk right now. A lack of money makes the business of living so difficult. It is very likely to destroy peace of mind. So the young man pursues money. For a good part of his life, he is likely to have no difficulty whatsoever in spending as much as he makes. If he has a family, they help him spend it. A successful man, however, is not very old before he begins to accumulate some money beyond his immediate needs and his household bank account. This money is likely to go into investments, real estate, and the like. Be he a truly positive-minded man, he will soon own considerable amounts of both property and money, and somewhere along the line he will have passed an invisible border. He is now rich in the sense that he has a considerable surplus above his needs. Undoubtedly, he can fulfill any reasonable want, and so while his financial records show he is rich, his inward and very private record should show he has peace of mind. He will have peace of mind if he has mastered money. He will not if money has mastered him. Again, a manifestation comes from mastering peace of mind. Peace of mind has a lot to do with how well we are taken care of and how well the ones we love are taken care of. So, master the material world. Master the material world, everybody. Why wouldn't we? How can we expect to master the next level if we can't master this one? It's like playing a video game and saying, I don't want to play the first couple levels. I would like to skip you can't skip the levels and go into the third. The first level is where you find the bow of destiny. The second level is where you find the staff of serenity. The third level is where you find the helm of the blood oath. You know what I mean? We gain skills through each level that we're on. How would we not? Master this world. Master this material realm. You cannot separate spirit from material, so everything you're doing is spiritual anyways, I promise you. You can go dark side or you can go light side. You can use spirit in the material realm to go Sith, go dark, Darth Vader, or you can become Yoda. Build yourself a skyscraper in downtown New York and have it be the Archangel headquarters or whatever, you know what I mean? Or build yourself a pyramid on a ley line out in the middle of the desert, whatever you want. Bring people from all over the world. You see what I'm saying? Master this world. My nephew told me that Fortnite has a crypto now. Wowzers. Wowzers. All right. A man who makes a big splash may be a man who has gone overboard. The big splash is the big show of one's material wealth. I have freely admitted my own weaknesses for making a big splash in the days of my Catskill estate, which I was fortunate enough to lose before it permanently harmed me. Not every man is endangered by making a vast show of his wealth, and some seem to thrive on it. Others enter upon such conspicuous display that obviously they have gone overboard. Their souls are drowning in their sea of dollars. Some years ago, a man had earned several $1 million, suddenly went bankrupt. I'm trying to skim around for the juicy parts for you guys. This other fear mentality, they're going to take it away from me. The fear of they're going to take it away from me. The fear of poverty, right? The fear of poverty has a strange and ugly first cousin. It is the rich man's fear that his money will be taken away from him, or that he will not be allowed to pile up his money into 10 times the sum he possibly could use, 20 times, 30 times. I once knew a majority stockholder of the fabulous Coca-Cola company. He had gathered money in many ways and was worth about $25 million. Did he have peace of mind? Well, he had a mind filled with hatred and mistrust. His worst hatred was directed towards the government. Although he was then well in his 80s, he always prophesied that the government would cause him to die a pauper. The last time I ever saw him, he asked me a most significant question. If you were in my place, what would you do to protect your peace of mind and save your money? I had determined that for the sake of my own peace of mind, I never would start a quarrel with this man. But if he ever asked me a direct question, he would receive a direct answer. Even so, I asked him now if he wanted my honest opinion. Yes, he said, very well, naturally. Well, said I, if I were in your place and wanted peace of mind, I would not save my money. Your peace of mind and your money have become enemies who cannot live side by side. If I were you, I would first convert all my money into United States saving bonds so that it would go to work for the benefit of all the people. Then I would pile all those bonds into my fireplace and set them on fire. And as I watched my money go up the chimney, I would watch a great deal of my unhappiness burn away. The owner of Coca-Cola snapped back, "Don't be facetious." As Napoleon Hill responded, "I was never more serious in my life. If I had your fortune and it deprived me of my peace, I would first put my money where it would well be distributed, and then I would burn every symbol of my government's debt to me. Then I would go to bed and sleep like a child and wake up feeling peaceful and free." And the owner of Coca-Cola followed his advice. To the day he died, he lived in fear, or I misread that. He said, "I did not expect the man to follow my advice." And he said, to the day he died, he lived in fear and bitterness. And I believe that the illness and debility which bogged him down long before he died was rooted in his love not for mankind, but of money. Again, notice how peace of mind is first and foremost. Peace of mind is first and foremost. There are very few people for whom advice to burn their money would be good advice. Well said, right? So I love this aspect. I'm going to go back to this. There are very few people whom advice to burn their money would be good advice. It's all within reason. Money can destroy your life or it can help it. Someone as stupid rich as the owner of Coca-Cola, it probably did him more harm than good. He could probably have lived 1,000 times higher than the average man with 1/20th his net worth. But that doesn't mean we all need to burn our money. That doesn't mean money is evil. That means some people have a very poor relationship to it. That's why we are here. This is the next key for your journey in this realm. The next key in the journey for your realm is to understand that money will enrich your life. That material things can enrich your life. I just saw this documentary on someone help me with the guy's name, where he constructed this device that basically negates all electromagnetic fields, and when you go inside of it, you reach this really weird state where you can blast off and sort of astral project at will. It's this really weird device, but it's really hard to build. But I would love to build one. But I would obviously want to hire an engineer to make a really nice one, a really safe one. Good parts, good materials, that's going to cost money. So that's just one example of how the material realm could help the spiritual one. So he says, the principle is what holds for every one of us. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is as precious as your peace of mind. Few young people see this. Some people see it as they gain more experience. Many never see it. Remember, you can be rich with peace of mind, but if money or anything else gets in the way of your peace of mind, choose peace of mind and let the other go. He says, notice that he made no attempt to evaluate the owner of Coca-Cola's complaint against the government. Interesting. His complaint may in some ways have been justified, as it most likely was. But it was his attitude I drove at, an attitude of fear and distrust, while he was at least 25 times a millionaire and could have done so much toward making himself and others happy. Yeah, it's super dope, Michael. It's actually super cool. All right, so how much money does a man need? Carnegie, if you guys know who Andrew Carnegie is, certainly had a firm hold on methods for making money. In his later years, his earnest wish was to give his know-how to the average man. Mr. Carnegie was one of the first of the enlightened industrialists who saw how important it is for a nation to spread its wealth. He saw that millions can be rich in the sense of having plenty. He also saw that in the nature of things, the man who has millions always will be an exception. He saw that a goal of millions or even a million is not the right goal for the majority of men. For many, such a goal sets up strains which deny peace of mind. They give up too much that is necessary for men of their personality, and so end with nothing. He admonished me again and again to make this clear, and I have done my best to do so. How much money, then, does a man need? You know, there was actually a test on this. There's actually I'm sure if you type it into Google, it'll pop up. Type in scientific study on how much money makes one happy. And the test showed that upward that at $100,000, people scored no more happy than someone with 200,000, 300,000. That happiness pretty much capped out at $100,000. You were happy if you had 10 grand, 20 grand made you empirically objectively speaking happier. 30, you were happier. 40, you were happier, all the way up to 100 grand. And then people were no more happier after 100 grand. This is on average. And this is also, I don't even know how long ago this study was done. So take into consideration inflation, maybe it's 200 grand now. I don't know. Point being, how much money then does a man need? As much as will keep him and his loved ones in what he considers solid comfort, along with enough luxury so that he may feel he has tasted the treats of life. Aiming for this and always maintaining his peace of mind, he conditions himself to a full use of his self-confident faith. And lo, out of this conditioning he finds a money-making power beyond his dreams. For such a man, excess money will never be a curse. He knows how to live, so he knows how to broaden his life. He has never tried to cheat others, so he knows how to help others. All right. All right, we're going to go into this next section. It says money that benefits you most. Or let me pull something up real quick. Pull. Addition. Come back. All right. Money that benefits you most, well, it often comes from work that benefits you. So in the last chapter, I planted the idea that one can ensure that his money and property go to persons of his choice when he dies. Unlike death itself, the bequeathing of assets is a controllable circumstance. You are going to make money, and when you do, please be careful that such a bequest does not rob an inheritor of his peace of mind. It has been said, and with reason, that a rich man's son often does not display the ability his father had. I believe that many rich men's sons are robbed of this ability because they inherit their father's money. By and large, the old man worked for his money. His money came to him side by side with the development of his insight, his ability, his knowledge of people, and his knowledge of the world. He was not given riches by his father, he was given riches by his work. Now let us look at the son. All his life he has lived in the midst of money and the many comforts which money buys. He knows he is going to inherit great amounts of money, assuming that he does have the inherent willingness to work hard. What happens to that willingness? In many cases, it is replaced by a willingness to get something for nothing, and thus he never learns one of the basic lessons of life. Great fortunes or modest fortunes are a blessing only when they are used in good part to benefit others. No father benefits his son when he robs him of initiative. No testator favors a beneficiary by making it unnecessary for him to work. You may wish to shield your inheritors from the meanness of poverty. Well and good. Beyond that, do not shield them from life with a wall of money. Let them have the priceless opportunity of building better lives with their own life-taught wisdom and their own constructive work. In my youth, I worked as a so I'll stop right there real quick. I don't know if you guys have ever read a book called Atlas Shrugged. Heavily criticized by being slightly too rigid in its presentation of capitalism. However, one of the characters, Antonio D'Anconia or something like that, his dad in the book owned a copper mine, the biggest copper mine in the world. But the son never got any money. The son had to work from the bottom of the company, mining coal, to mining the ore, to smelting the ore, to being in the massive furnaces, breathing in the fumes, getting covered in soot, feeding the furnaces so that they could smelt the copper, creating the ingots. Basically, he had to work in every section of the factory before he could be any part of the decision-making process for this same reason. And so we see even in literature, the idea that working for something has meaning. So the book Think and Grow Rich has been read by perhaps 7 million women and men. In the 20 years since it was published, I've been able to talk to some of these people, and I see that some have used the book to help them become truly rich, but some have used it to help them become rich in money only. It is time to set down once more the 12 great riches of life. 1 is a positive mental attitude. 2 is sound physical health. 3 is harmony in human relationships. 4 is freedom from all forms of fear. 5, the hope of future achievement. Then the capacity for faith, a willingness to share one's blessings, a labor of love as an occupation, an open mind on all subjects, self-discipline in all circumstances, the capacity to understand others, and then sufficient money. Fly just flew on the thing. These are the riches which can and should go along with peace of mind. Notice I have set money in the last place, and this despite my insisting that it is very difficult to have peace of mind without sufficient money. I set it there because you yourself will automatically give emphasis to money. Now and then, therefore, I must remind you to de-emphasize it and remember this. Money will buy a great deal, but it will not buy peace of mind. It only will help you find peace of mind. But neither money nor anything else can help you find peace of mind unless you begin the journey from within yourself. So some basic steps. You want some basic steps in building your income? Napoleon Hill says, I've been told that it is not good logic to warn people of the dangers of misusing money, when probably they do not have enough money to make them worry about misusing it. Fair. I would follow this advice if I were writing a book merely about how to earn money. This book is also concerned with showing you where you are going and how the world looks when you get there. It helps you build correct attitudes right at the start. As long as you have pointed firmly at those attitudes, however, as we shall point again, I shall set down some practical ways in which a person who has little or no capital can begin to build his wealth. Each of these ways is specific unto itself, so to speak, but is capable of almost infinite modification. It is up to you to pause as you read and apply these procedures to yourself, your talents, your surroundings, and above all, your goals. Ready for number one? You guys ready for number one? Get other people to help their own businesses by helping yours. A young life insurance salesman was having trouble in placing policies with heads of families. Using this adversity as a springboard, he wondered why he could not sell insurance to the very same men, not in their role as heads of families, but in their role as businessmen. After all, money taken out of the family budget is money gone, but a business expense offers an opportunity of bringing back the expended sum many times over. So first one is getting other people to help their own businesses by helping yours. The second, show someone how he can get more for his money. So here we are not talking about setting yourself up as a business advisor so that people seek you out to learn how they can get more money, more for their money. We assume that the initiative must be yours. Here is how one man did it. Working at a low salary for a distributor of magazines, he took notice of many different kinds of printing. As with another man I've mentioned in this book, he noticed that many of the printing jobs could have been done with more taste, more style. Now this young chap was discovering that most jobs of any kind are not done as well as they could be. Take note of this, for a fortune can be made on the idea. The young man found out more about printing, then went to a large printing firm. He arranged to bring in printing jobs at a 10% commission. He then went to larger users of printed matter and collected a great many samples, which he took home and studied. So we'll bypass that. So what's the practical psychology at play here? To begin, a person or a company may go on almost forever with some condition or process or product that gets by. He may not realize that he's merely getting by, or if he does, he is too busy or too lazy to do anything about it. Along comes someone who makes him dissatisfied with what he has and in the same moment shows him how to do better. Moreover, the work is all done for him. Why not take advantage of it? Now stop and think. How can you show someone how he can get more for his money? Extend that. How can you help someone get more for his money in such a way that he will thereafter depend on you to show him again and again? Recognizing a need, plugging that need. All right, so the third, bring producer and consumer together. 4, some of the money you earn should stay with you. Oh, that's not what that's. Grow rich with peace of mind. So will you master money or will money master you? Once you earn a considerable surplus above your needs, you should enjoy both riches and peace of mind. You will not have peace of mind if you have mastered money, but not if you will have peace of mind if you have mastered money, but not if it has mastered you. Too many men use money merely for conspicuous consumption. Too many, having millions, live in fear of losing them. If money or anything else gets in the way of your peace of mind, take peace of mind and let the other go. Money that benefits you comes most often from work that benefits you. A man needs enough for comfort and for a good share of the world's luxuries. Aiming at these and retaining his self-confident faith in himself, instead of straining for many times more than he can spend, he often earns much more than he expected. No father benefits his son when he surrounds him with money and prevents him from learning life's great lessons through honest work. Keep your mind on all 12 of the great riches of life and know that your journey toward riches must begin within yourself. Right? Fair enough. Fair enough. Hello, Didi. Welcome. Welcome, Soul Fam, Didi. Welcome, everyone else. Take your shoes off. Stay a while. If you're just tuning in, my name is Keith, Man of Letters, and we're going over some Napoleon Hill. And hoping to get some inspiration, get some soul inspiration. That's the idea. How are you guys? Happy Saturday morning. You guys enjoying your Saturdays? It is a lovely day. Windy, a bit windy and a bit dry, but lovely nonetheless. Oh, you know what I need to do actually? Unless I can do it from here. If you guys have any questions or would like me to go into anything in more detail, please, for the love of all that is holy, it is my duty to give you guys some plus 1, plus 2 skills to make sure that your to make sure that your journeys go successfully. To make sure our journeys go successfully. Let me pull up this live real quick. On, please. Thank you kindly. Much obliged. Got it. Cleaning day, huh? Yeah, we're doing the thing right now. We're doing the thing. Allow me some shameless self-promo if you guys would like. Oh, I've been on here for an hour? Nice. Slapping. We're killing it. Thank you guys. If you want to support the channel, you can. Lois Brooklyn has already chipped in $5. Thank you for the coffee. Actually, thank you for the beignets. I've been on a beignet kick. There's a local Narlands restaurant down the street, and they make really tasty beignets. So thank you for the beignet pitch in there, Lois Brooklyn. And a cappuccino to keep us going. But you guys, if you want to join the channel members, that's dope. We have a Patreon if you want to join the Patreon and you want to support that way. I'll put the Patreon in here. Patreon.com/Keith Garcia. What up? If you guys want to support via my Etsy, we have an Etsy shop where I mostly sell I grow frankincense trees and other exotic trees and seeds. But we pour our own beeswax candles. It's pretty dope. Want to buy some stuff for our shop? The Patreon members have fat discounts on the Etsy shop if you're into candles. We like our candles here. I literally do everything by candlelight because it makes me feel important. If you guys like candles, we pour our own. Maybe I recorded a video on our candle pouring process. I haven't edited it because I've been too lazy, but it's there. Maybe I'll post it and show you guys what we do. But the Patreon members do get fat discounts on the Etsy shop, on our frankincense trees too, on our copal trees. Just a heads up. I think upwards of like 20% off, maybe 15% off the Etsy shop at some tiers. Anywho, thank you guys. Or I also heard that liking, commenting, and subscribing is totally free. So thank you for that too. All right, we're going to continue. We'll do The blessed art of sharing your riches. Hold on. Let's see. Is this going to work? It has to. It must. It must. Otherwise, take your shoes off, stay a while, make yourselves comfy. Also, know that just being here, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Literally, you watching is support. So, thank you kindly from the depths of my soul for being squad. Now. The blessed art of sharing your riches. Wealth that is shared creates more wealth. And you can share many forms of wealth besides money. Today's millionaires themselves point out that anyone can become a millionaire because today's wealth is so widespread and gives rise to so many opportunities. When you share in your own home, you create a basic harmony which adds to your success and peace of mind in everything you do. Start now to share what you have, and when you have plenty of money, you will share your money, the more wisely and with greater benefit. You are going to make money. If you do not allow negative points of view to trip you up, you will march straight forward on the road to riches. Yes, you are going to make money in solid sums, money that comes to you through your own worthy efforts, money you spend for your own worthy desires, money you spend in helping others. Will you build your character while you build your fortune? This, as by now you know, is not exactly another matter. There is a strong connection between the power to make money and the power to know your own mind and fulfill your own self as a fully realized person. Again, we shall examine a technique that goes with being rich and having invincible peace of mind. So far as sharing money is concerned, you may see this technique as belonging to your future. So far as sharing other forms of wealth is concerned, this technique is yours right now. Use it and make it part of you. Life proceeds according to the great law of compensation. The more you give of what you have, the more comes back to you, and it comes back greatly multiplied. Now, before I continue, the Kybalion Hermeticism has that literally same exact line, the law of compensation. We've talked about this outside of this book. This is why I love Napoleon Hill and his take on finances. It's so rooted in the esoteric, as it should be. As above, so below. All laws operate on all planes. Why not use these laws to master the material realm as we master the psyche and the mental and the spiritual realms, right? Law of compensation. We know law of compensation. Does someone want to define the law of compensation as per the law of rhythm? Technically, it's the law of rhythm, and as a subset of that, there is the quote-unquote law of compensation. I would like, how about one of you guys define it for me? I'll keep going, and one of you guys define it for the rest of the squad. Where are we? Give me a second. Wealth creates wealth. A large sum of money in the hands of one man generally does not create as much wealth as does money which circulates, provided that those who handle its circulation are interested in actually creating wealth. A man's happiness and peace of mind depend on his sharing all kinds of wealth. Business relations cannot properly be described as a relationship of love between buyer and seller, yet when the idea of service to one's fellow men comes into the relationship, much that is profitable to both parties also enters in. A little bit of myself, said Henry Ford, goes into every automobile that rolls off our assembly lines, and I think of every automobile we sell not in terms of the profit it yields us, but in terms of the useful service it may render the purchaser. In the past years, we had our own era of those industrial pirates who never thought of sharing with their employees the wealth their employees helped to create. While they made a great show of their money in New York, Newport, or Palm Beach, those men would have sneered at the idea that a society needs a large number of well-paid people who are able to buy more goods and lead better lives. Millionaires are far more numerous today, and even more so today, actual today, not when this book was written. More than 5,000 new millionaires have so declared themselves on their tax returns in the last decade. Also, as I have mentioned, today's millionaires do not seem to want the notice that rich men used to require. Most of my readers will not recognize the names of some of the present day millionaires and multimillionaires, we'll say billionaires in today's age. Nor do today's moneyed men seem anxious to form a definite class to which the poor may not aspire. I quote Arthur Dezio, who made so much money in building and selling mobile homes. It's easier to get ahead than it was 15 or 40 years ago. Look at the population growth and the tremendous rise in personal income. This country is just loaded with opportunities. So it is, and many of the opportunities would not exist if wealth were not better distributed than it used to be. Employers have seen the value to themselves, to their people, and to society of taking workers into partnership with industry. A capitalist society proves over and over that it is the best way to create maximum widespread wealth. Now, with that last line, I know I'm going to get a lot of kickback. I used to give a lot of kickback. He just praised capitalism, and there has not been less praise for capitalism than ever. But hear me out on this. I'm gonna give. There's a key line that he said. I'm gonna back up capitalism right now. And I'm gonna start by a line that we just read right now. Napoleon Hill says, should I find it? It might be hard to find it. I don't want to take up too much time looking for it. Wealth creates wealth. Okay, it says a large sum of money in the hands of one man generally does not create as much wealth as does money which circulates. So that's the first kicker. Provided that those who handle its circulation are interested in creating wealth. Our society seems to be run by people not interested in creating wealth, but in hoarding wealth. But when it circulates, it does. Okay, so with that thought in mind, I'm going to look towards nature. Did you know that resources in the natural world tend to end up in a very small percentage of individuals, entities, beings, organisms? And we'll look at a forest. If you look at something like the Sequoia National Forest, or any forest, the primary trees make up about 5% of the individual organisms in a forest. I'm talking the redwoods and the pine trees, the sycamore, the cedar, your big trees, make up only about 5% of the overall organisms of the forest. However, they capture about 80% of the sunlight that comes in. They absorb about 80% of the water that hits the ground. They absorb about 80% of the nutrients that are in the ground and in the air. Resources tend to accumulate in a small portion. That's just the nature of things. On my YouTube channel, my Colburn Bible book, my audiobook on the Corpus Hermeticum has acquired 2,000 subscribers. I only have 18,000 subscribers on this channel. 2,000 of those, 218, 2 goes into 8. What? 2 goes into 8, 9, 1/9. What is that? Am I doing the math right? Anywho, 2,000 subscribers came from one of my videos. I have like 700 videos on this channel. But it gets, in other words, the hours watched, the views, the money, the subscribers brought in are all coming from about 90% of that are all coming from about 3 or 4 of my videos. There's just a tendency, and I'm sure if you look at it's a weird law of the universe, right? As above, so below. That is even if you look at communism, sure, it may sound great because everyone's sort of we want to distribute money, but is the money distributed evenly with Fidel Castro in Cuba? Absolutely not. His family is loaded. Wealth coagulates somewhere. And whatever you want to call the system, communism, capitalism, or any derivative thereof, in any of those systems, money is accumulating somewhere and in abnormally large quantities. The question is, who are we going to allow for that wealth to accumulate? In the forest, it accumulates in the trees, but the trees are creating oxygen, they're creating habitat for the organisms. Yeah, the redwoods may consume 90% of the resources in their ecosystem, but only represent 5% of the only overall population. Look what they're providing. They drop hundreds of thousands of pounds of branches and leaf litter onto the floor, which turns into compost, which increases the microbial life, which increases the fertility of the soil, which means more plants can grow, which means more animals and birds can come and live, which means so they support yes, they consume the majority of the resources, even though there's only a few of them, but they also sustain the ecosystem itself. So that's just a tidbit I thought I would throw in, because it is noteworthy, right? Trust me, I went to school for oh my god, I was going to say sustainable science, not sustainable science, environmental science and sustainability, and the philosophy of philosophy and environmental science in San Francisco, of all places. Doesn't get more liberal, communist, pro-environment than that, is what my point is. But I still see patterns and I can still recognize what's going on in the world, and sort of not throw out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. Sharing wealth in your own home. 7 positive motives: our sex, our relationships. Everyone has something to share and gains by sharing it. Sharing wealth in your own home. Men who are successful in living generally maintain love and sharing in their own homes. When couples do not share, other troubles arise. When a man shows he is willing to share, a woman is eager to share with him. 3 basic motives: love, sex, money. Love, sex, money. Are said practically to rule the world. And this can be seen in many cases. No part of your life can be lived separately from the other parts. Everyone has something to share. You can share knowledge, you can share love and kindness, no matter how poor you are. Almost anyone can share in 3 areas which offer themselves over and over. You can share your special skills or your knowledge. You can share by filling a gap when you see one. You can share recognition and appreciation of others and the work they do. The idea is that wealth generates wealth. Giving generates receiving. How can it not? This is the law of compensation. How can you give and not get something in return? In other words, there's a musician in my squad, in my circle. There's a keyboard player in our musical circle around this town, and he plays for free. But he's smart, because now when I need a keyboard player, I normally don't, but when I have the budget for it, I'll pay him. Like, hey man, I need a keyboard player. Like, I'll pay you. Because he's put himself out there so much. He's giving. Now when everyone needs, now he's a regularly booked keyboard player around town. He's booked 2-3 times a week, because he offered his skills for free for so long. He gave for so much for so long that he built connections. He networked. Now people have seen him. Now people hit me up. Hey, Keith, who was that keyboard player that was playing with you? Like, is he available? Like, oh, yeah, his name's E-Man. I'll shoot you his number. Now he's getting gigs. Now people see him playing. Now when someone needs a full-time keyboard player, they see him playing. Oh, damn, he's playing with Keith? Oh, damn, he's playing with Maury and the Heavy Hitters? Oh, damn, he's playing with Jacob and the Good Vibes? Dope. Like, do you got that guy's number? Is he available? Like, we can always give. Giving is receiving. And how it unfolds, the nuance in which it unfolds, is different in every situation. Who knows? It might not be money. It might be help. It might be a piece of knowledge. You might be giving so much that someone gives you back a piece of knowledge or a piece of advice that changes your life. Or they might introduce you to someone that changes your life. You know, all this, what you're doing is you're, again, manipulating your subconscious energy field. You're manipulating your frequency so that you can think different thoughts, have different actions, have different conversations. You're moved by a different tone. Have you guys ever seen Donnie Darko, where that little, like, you can tell the future based on how things are right now, right? Cause and effect, basic, but it's basic cause and effect stuff. But what you're telling is a probability of the future. If things stay as they are right now, the probability of your future looking like this is really high. So we can kind of tell the future. So we can tell the future based on our thoughts. Our prevailing thoughts will tell us where we're headed. Our prevailing emotions and our prevailing notions on the world will tell us where we're going. If your inner dialogue is mostly negative, mostly scared, fearful, it's mostly melancholy, then you know damn well where you're going to end up. This is the alchemist. This is why we study esoteric philosophies and esoteric thought. This is why we study these things, so that we can tell the future, not in an abstract way, but a very real, a very practical way. So tell your own future, and do it soon. Do not linger. Share the wealth. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. All right, those are a good couple chapters to go over and to cover. Where is my... Oh no, I lost my... Oh, the comments pulled up. Oh, they're right here. Yeah, the candles are... Oh, thanks, Michael. The candles are super dope. Anywho. That will be it for us today. We did our duty. We did our duty. Thank you guys for chilling and hanging with us. And we will see you soon. All right? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Remember, ease of mind, ease and grace. Don't forget. All right, you guys. I'll see ya.